Hi everyone, this is Margaret with Creative Stamping with Margaret. Thanks for joining me. Today's card is one of the cards from the December 2024 card class. That was a kit to go class, and it was called Marbled Elegance because it featured the Marbled Elegance product suite, which it has this beautiful designer series paper called Marbled Elegance, and we use the Heart of Elegance stamp set and dies, that bundle, to create our cards for that class. So let's get started. This card, I called it the Sending Lots of Love because that was the sentiment, but you could call it Mini Hearts. So from that bundle, the stamp that you will need is, of course, that Sending Lots of Love. You will also need five of the hearts, different sizes. There is a heart that is much larger, this one, which was used on another card, so you'll need the next smaller hearts going down in size. And of course, we are using Melon Mambo as our card base. We also are using the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. And then from that suite, it also includes these little adhesive-backed heart sequins. So let's get moving on creating this card. So I have my kit here, which has my Melon Mambo card base. And I will have the dimensions in the description of this video for all of the materials that are used. So I'm not going to give sizes. Some of them were just little scrap pieces that were cut as well. And then for our card front, the one that's texture embossed and stamped, we have our basic white, and then of course we have a basic white for the interior panel. And one other thing that you will need, as you see, this Sending Lots of Love is in gold. I actually stamped that, heat embossed it, and then used the embossing folder. And so I'm going to go through that with you. And to save time, I did pre-cut my hearts so that you would not wait for me on why I cut them during this video. But as you see, I've used a variety of the sizes, those 5 sizes. And then in addition, there is a little heart stamp that has like leaves in it. I use that to stamp the front of my envelope. And then on the inside of my card, I also stamped it. And then there's a kiss and X and O, kisses and hugs stamp that I also embossed on the inside with the gold embossing powder, heat embossed. So we have our card here. So our first step for the front panel is we need to pull in our Versamark. And first thing is I'm going to run my little dusting buddy, that's what I call it, embossing buddy, across the card just to remove any static. I have my Sending Lots of Love stamp, so I'm going to ink that up with my Versamark. And then just in this lower right hand corner, I'm going to stamp with the Versamark. And then at this time, if you wanted to do the X and O, you may want to go ahead and stamp that on the interior. And let me just pull in. I like to use a coffee filter to catch my embossing powder. I know we have, and I actually have one, the little tray, but I still like using the coffee filter. I just think that I'm able to trap it a little bit better and then return it to my container. Like so. Now let's pull in our heat tool. And we're going to heat this till it melts, and you'll see the color change. And I just love this new Wow embossing powder that Stampin' Up has started offering. It just so vibrant. So there, I have melted that. And it does need to cool before you put it into that folder. So I'm just going to wave it a little bit to cool it down. And let me get my embossing folder out. And I actually have another one here that is cooled a little bit more, that's prepared. So I'm going to slide that in, and I'm just going to line this up in that embossing folder. And I like to use that line that goes across just to make sure I get it straight. Let me step over to my cut and emboss machine. There. Now we have that prepared, and you can see why I really stress that you do the heat embossing before you do the texture embossing. It just won't work that well otherwise. So we have that. Now we're going to add this panel to the front of our card, but let me just get this down a little bit better. Burnished. And I like to use the liquid adhesive, especially when I've got something texture embossed. It just gets in and grabs those areas that are of different, that have been embossed, where you've got the different, different, I can't think of the word right now, but anyway, where you've got high and low areas. How's that? So it just helps hold that in place. So first we're going to put our large heart down, and this is being added flat. And I have to check to see, yes, I did. So the rest of these, I am using some dimensionals, but of course, because it's overlapping, we don't want to put put them on this side. We're only going to put it on this one side because it's, well, actually I am going to put it, we're going to add the second heart with dimensionals. Of course, you can play with this and you could put them all down flat if you wanted. Let me rub that so that adheres good. This is where it is that you don't want to add a dimensional there, but you do on the other side because that side is lifted up. So what I'm doing is putting 2 dimensionals here, and then we will hold that, keep this side flat, and just put a little adhesive on it. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. For me, it was a little bit different than it has been in the past. We celebrated a little bit earlier this year because my sons, both of them, now that they're married, and well, they all need to start spending time with their in-laws. And of course, my youngest son with his family, with the 2 girls, they have lots to keep them busy. So we decided to celebrate a little bit early. So it was just a little bit different, but everyone, you know, you have to set your own traditions. I encourage them to create their own traditions each year. And it was fun. And then my granddaughters, I took them to have tea with Santa this year, which was just a blast. So that may be a new tradition that we've started. And I see my glue came through on that gold. Let's see if I can get that off a little with the eraser. I think I need to let it dry a little bit more, and then work with it to get that to come off. As it dries, it'll just roll off. And then we take our last little heart and we're going to put it right here at the bottom. And there again, I'm only putting dimensionals on the side that doesn't overlap the other panel. And now we're getting hit with some cold weather coming in. I know some parts of the country have it a lot worse than those of us here in Georgia. You know, that little smudge is going to drive me crazy, but I'll work on it afterwards. You can see this beautiful card, the first one. So I'd encourage you to be careful when you're putting the adhesive on the back if you cut it out of the gold foil, because otherwise you'll have the smear just like I do there, but I can fix that a little bit later. So now we just need to embellish the front with some of our little adhesive hearts. I mean, Valentine's Day will be here before you know it. So I hope this card gives you some ideas. And as you see, I placed a lot of these little hearts around. As I said at the top of this video, maybe I should have called this the card of many hearts. But I am calling it, the title of this video is Sending Lots of Love. So for the card interior on this one, I'm not going to put the X and O's. I'm just going to stamp the heart. And I'm using the Melon Mambo ink to do that. And I'm going to do the same on the envelope. We'll just add this to the interior of our card. So there, we have completed the assembly of our Sending Lots of Love elegant, what is that called? Hearts of Elegance card. Man, I have lost it today, but that's okay. All of the correct names and so forth will be in the description of this video. Again, this is Margaret Knight. Thanks for joining me. If you have a moment, I would appreciate it if you would like this video. Just hit that little like button and also subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. Have a great day.